For our country we must have regard. For your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. So much of things that we need to see about.
Yes, so many things we have to attend to here in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. I want to welcome you wherever you are to the Dynamic Hour. What we do is speak about the positive things that are happening here in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique, because our people have come so negative that all they look forward to is the bad. Just talk about the one or two negative things and they run with that. They feel joyous hearing. We have to break that cycle, and we have started that process to break that cycle. We want good for Grenada. We want to see development in our communities. We want to see development in our homes too. Happens in our homes, in our communities, and throughout the country, then we all will benefit. I am having a little problem with my internet this morning, not 100%. So for those online in particular, you might be experiencing a somewhat blurry outlook. All right, so you have to bear with me. We have a lot to discuss this morning. I want to encourage those on Facebook, on YouTube, to please share the live. Share the live so many people as possible will get that opportunity to be a part of the conversation. I want to start off this morning with a statement from David Andrew, Minister of Education, Youth, Sports, and Culture, as it relates to, vouchers and other little things that's pending. Let's hear from him now. All right. Make sure.
Announced the launch of the 2020.
All right, let me make sure.
Following is a statement by the Honorable David Andrew, Minister for Education, Youth, Sports and Culture, on the launch of the 2023-2024 School Uniform and School Supplies Assistance Program.
The Ministry of Education, Youth, Sports and Culture is delighted to announce the launch of the 2023-2024 School Uniform and School Supplies Assistance Program. Now, this year we are very delighted that we are able to present this assistance in the form of machine-readable codes, better known as QR codes. And our vendors have been trained, and so there'll be additional information coming to you, the public, but the machines or the terminals are already stationed at the vendors. And for those of you who have a program, we alert you that you can begin shopping as soon as you receive your text message, your QR code that will come to you through text message. Note, I say through text message. And once you receive those, you are free to go to the vendors in your various communities across Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique to have your purchases made. If you sent your application through emails, you can get your notification through emails as well. So you can get it through text or emails if you did both. So at this point, we are very, very happy that we have been able to move away from the paper-based In fact, it was tried once before. So we are happy to be able to get back to this place as we move forward, as we move to an era where we capitalize and benefit from the technologies. We are moving in that direction. And so we are happy to embrace the machine readable codes, the QR codes that are now being used and proposed. So we are very delighted about that. And at this point, we want to take the opportunity to thank all of our stakeholders. We want to thank the schools, our principals and teachers, who were the first agents through which we got the number of persons who have now applied and who will be successful in this program. We want to thank our vendors who have agreed to partner with the Ministry of Education in this regard. We want to thank all of our stakeholders and the persons in various ministries, the Ministry of Education, and our ICT team here, and the persons in ICT, the Department of ICT, for their assistance and collaboration in seeing this come to fruition. We are very delighted that we are able to work and further support our nation's children, along with all that has been happening by way of tuition removal and by way of the removing of fees at various levels, primary, secondary, and TAMCC NULO. We are happy to also announce the start of this year's school uniform and school supplies assistance program. So we encourage all of you to make the best of it. The Ministry of Education will continue to update you through press releases, video, other information that will tell you who the vendors are and the steps to use those. Once again, we thank you and we are happy to partner with you and to support you on your educational journey. All the very best.
The preceding was a statement by the Honorable David Andrew, Minister for Youth, Sports and Culture, on the launch of the 2023-2024 School Uniform and School Supplies Assistance Program.
Hello parents, we're excited to introduce our new digital school uniform assistance program designed to make shopping for school supplies easier for you. In this video, we'll guide you through the simple steps to use your QR code grant voucher for school supplies and uniform products. So, let's get started. Successful recipients will receive a text message and/or email from our processing provider, WePay. Applicants who do not receive a text or email can contact the Ministry of Education's Student Support Services Unit to find out if their application was successful. Applicants who receive a text or SMS message should have the following link on their phone. Please note that this is a text message and not a WhatsApp or other messaging services type communication. This is an example of what the text or SMS message will look like. Please note that you will need internet access to click the link in the text message to view your QR code. We highly recommend that you take a picture or screenshot of this QR code in the event that you do not have internet access while shopping. This is what the QR code will look like. For recipients who received an email, the format is quite similar, and this is what that email will look like. Please check for an email from support@wepaytoday.com. Please check your email's junk or spam folder, as this communication may accidentally go to those folders. Once you receive your QR code, you can immediately begin shopping at the designated stores for your school supplies. To know the designated shopping areas in your community, you may contact the Student Support Services Unit at the Ministry of Education.
Right, so folks, you heard it there from the Ministry of Education, from the Minister of Education, the Honorable David Andrew. So that's really the voucher program. But they are no longer printing any voucher on paper and that kind of stuff to say to you, here is 2 or 3 vouchers, go and shop. What they have done is to use the QR code. They're using the online platform. In other words, they're no longer using paper, which is great. They're embracing the technology, and it is the voucher program. They call it the school uniform and school supplies program. It's the same thing. as the voucher program, which is really great. So the schools, what they did, they allow the principals and other stakeholders to identify the students who are in need, and then parents were contacted. So now they will receive that text message or that email, and they can go and shop, buy the school uniforms, the socks, the vests, the shirts, the skirts, the pants, just name it, the bags, you understand the point? So you're now able to get the voucher via text and email. That's a good thing. It's a really good thing because the NNP, well, they cut this program and they cut that program. In fact, one of those NNP, well, not the NDC, sorry, the NNP. NNP is out there saying they cut this program and they cut that program. One of those NNP pundits actually called in sometime during the week to say, well, the government cut the program and the churches now need to step forward and civil society and so on. Because you see, the NNP pundits and surrogates, they're operating by hearsay. They're not operating with facts. For them, it's just about gossip, gossip, gossip. And many a times they're not getting that from their party. Yeah? They're getting it on the wayside and they're running with it because their mentality is such that the negative stuff is good for them. It makes them feel happy. So here you have the Minister of Education speaking to the school uniform and school supplies program, the voucher program. They're doing it differently. In other words, you get a text, you get an email, and you then go and start shopping. That's a great move. I want to commend the NDC administration. They have not cut any program, All how the NNP bling about poor and vulnerable because they want to keep their people poor. The NNP wants to keep their supporters poor. And the majority of people who benefit from those programs are NNP supporters because they are generally poor and they are generally folks who are in need of great help because the NNP poor keep them poor and in some instances illiterate, and they keep them there. If you go in the community and you encounter a poor family, they are generally supporters of the NNP. In rare cases, that's not the case. But generally speaking, they're supporters of the NNP. So the NNP makes people poor. You look at the NNP supporters and you have to take a microscopic look at them. They're not progressive. They don't want to get out of that poverty that they're in. It's as though they sentence them to poverty. So the real beneficiaries in nearly all those programs are NNP supporters. I'm telling you, they're the ones who lining up for all of these safety net programs. And that is why the NP continues to cry and scream and bawl about the poor and the vulnerable and the poor vulnerable. They make them poor and they're keeping them poor. Even if they're not in power, they're still keeping them poor because it is a mentality. They indoctrinate these people to believe that the government needs to feed them, the government needs to clothe them, the government needs to provide employment for them. And even if the government provides the employment for them, they still would not work. They still would not work. Look at the situation with the debushing program, where they don't want to work under NDC contractor. They don't. They prefer to stay home and do nothing. They say it straight out. They used to be, they used to operate or work as contractors, right? Contractors. So they were contractors under P, cutting the bush. So people working under them. Now, the NDC decided, well, we need to give our people opportunities too, to get to be contractors. And they put on the names of some of those NNP folks to work under them. And they say, nah, they ain't working under the NDC person as a contractor because they would have to rake the bush, cut the bush now. Before time, they were not doing that because they were the contractors, right? They don't want work. A lot of those NNP supporters don't want work. They wait for the $300 at the end of the month, the 25th, the 23rd, the 24th, or whatever day it is, and they go and drink rum with it. A lot of them drink rum, smoke weed. In some instances, they go and buy hair, false hair, and so on, and go party with it, generally speaking. And then they leave the children without anything. That's how they function. Those NNP supporters in particular. And they're the real beneficiaries of those social safety net programs. And that is why they bawling, they screaming. And you know what's amazing? You would hear on a program that somebody calls somebody and say, well, somebody died, the child died, and they ain't nothing to feed their children, and they want to commit suicide. If everybody who crying and say, well, they need this and they need that, they ain't have that, and they will commit suicide, and then you want to run and go, well, then you're going to be in problem, you know. Ultimately, it's like the password to get things these days is to commit suicide. Yeah. So they would call programs, give numbers so they can get this and get that. In fact, only recently, a friend from overseas followed through with a call on a particular program where somebody said, well, they want to kill themselves or they want to commit suicide because they can't feed their children, they can't this, they can't that. So the person intervened, they assisted the person, and then they had somebody follow the person. In other words, monitor the person. And the person, the individual, would leave her children in the house, go to party, buy all kind of nice clothes, pay, get tickets, pay the money for the tickets to go to the shows and have a ball of a time. And then go back home, the children hungry and so on. What they need to do is to take the children away from that person. It is simple. Not that they want to commit suicide. They want to live off people. And that's exactly what is happening. But the easy password is to call a program and, say, well, they in need of this and in need of that. And they just, but that's what Grenada has become. Because these people, they no longer get handout. No longer could line in some party office and beg for this and beg for that. Scrunty. But that is what the NNP made these people to believe, that the government has to come and feed them, clothe them, house them, everything. Toothbagger, everything. That is exactly how they have been trained. And I go into communities, and look, I know those NNP like a T. I know them like a T. And the profile fits all of them. All of them, the profile fits them. If you leave here and you go to St. Patrick, you go to St. Mark, St. John, St. Andrew, anywhere you go, the same profile fits all of them. I am simply saying, folks, the NDC has not cut any of those programs. You heard the minister there stating, look, the voucher program is back as per usual every year. They never stop it. Amazingly, the NDC is serious about the education of the young people of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. They're serious. We saw how teachers were uneasy, how the environment in the classroom were, how teachers were not doing any extracurricular or extracurriculum, activities or extracurricular activities. They were not doing that because their money was taken from them. Nothing extra. They're doing according to the contract, according to the agreement with government, with the Public Service Commission. So the whole education system was falling apart because the NNP went into the salaries of the teachers and take their money. The NDC came into power, In months, they gave them $1.2 million. They gave them their money back. The teachers. They gave them their money back, and the morale within the school system start, coming back to what it was. The teachers were upbeat again. They were doing all the extra stuff. They were, going above and beyond to make sure that the children learn. The environment conducive for learning. The NDC did that. They had sports, they had intercol, they had all kind of primary school sports, parish sports, just name it. Debates, everything. And they did not credit the NDC for such an intervention. NDC did not get the praise for that intervention. The NNP refused to give them the money. And the teacher took the matter to court and lost. But the NDC saw it as a moral thing to do to teachers their money. They could have easily said, well, look, the court ruled and we will not, give you that money, or if we gave you the money, we will take it back. No, the NDC decided to do the right thing. And the right and moral thing was to give these people their money. The NDC came into power. Teachers were marching on the streets, because that's the reason why the NNP docked their salaries, marching for their pension and their gratuity. Saying, well, look, the Constitution says, the law says, we are entitled to our pension and our gratuity, but we are retiring back into poverty. Teachers, hard-working teachers. The NDC, and they paid $75.1 million in pension and gratuity. And every month, the teachers who retired, every month until they dead. And if they have husband and wife, they will benefit from that pension. From that pension. Right? When they, I'm telling you, they're getting their money every month, their pension every month. And we have to start saying it as it, because people need to know the NDC is serious about education. They received their pension, their retroactive pension, or the lump. They received their gratuity. And they continue to get their pension every month. This is a big thing. Historically, when the teachers and public officers have to get an increase, they have to go and protest on the streets, march on the streets. Because the NNP in power, and they insist that they're not giving them this amount of percentage and that amount of percentage. Look now, no protest, no demonstration, no fight, no nothing. 13%. I find the NDC not beating the chest the way they're supposed to beat their chest, and blowing the trumpet enough, 13% increase on the salaries. The teachers and public officers didn't have to go on the street and bawl and cry and plead and match and beat drums, blow bubuzelas and whistles, and blow conch shell. No, this is not about confrontation. The NDC is about creating an atmosphere of peace and ensuring that teachers and public officers get what they deserve, where the living standard and condition are improved. That is what NDC is about. Prosperity, opportunity, and dignity too. Because when you work as a teacher, and watch me, teaching, it's stressful. When you work as a teacher for 30 years, 35 years, watch me, you need to be able to retire in peace with your pension and with your gratuity. The NDC guaranteed that. The NDC also introduced universal education. Remember, it was the NDC who introduced the free textbook program. Don't forget that. It was the NDC who introduced the free textbook program. And the NDC came back and they introduced universal education. So all child or the children out there, the young people, you have access to pre-primary school, primary school, secondary school, TAMCC and NULO. You have access because your mother or father don't have to find $810 to send you to TAMCC. The government is absorbing that cost. The government is paying that. They don't have to find the $300 or $400 or $500 to send you to NULO. The government is absorbing that cost. At the secondary school, the $200 or $300 and something dollars, they don't have to find that. The government is absorbing that. The NDC is serious about education. And I don't think they're talking enough about the many achievements under the last, 1 year and some months. The NDC introduced the free tuition support, free tuition at those schools, TAMCC included. Grenadian history is now taught or will be taught come September. Schools, because remember, the NNP is not interested in history. The NNP is a backward organization, you know. An organization that is colonial, barbaric. I mean, they're not progressive. It's a dark organization. Any organization that doesn't believe in education and opportunities for people where they can become literate, where they can attain higher education, that organization bound to fail. And that is why the NNP is where it is now. They cannot call a convention. They're fighting among themselves. Most of the members of that organization, they're aged. Young people are not attracted to the NNP. Just a bunch of, you just look at NNP and you just see it's like an old Garyite party that, going in the center cemetery and they dine with them. That's what it is. Same old stupid politics, same old Mogalang criticism, negativity. That's NNP. NNP is not good for Grenada, NNP is not good for Grenada, CARICOM, never. And I told you so in the past. They're dangerous. They're not good for Grenada. Look at the majority of these people, NNP. They're living in poverty. The majority of people who support NNP in Grenada, they're living in poverty or they live in hand to mouth. The majority of these people. I'm telling you. Or the children struggling to make ends meet because the NNP put them in that situation, they believe. They sentence them to a condition. But I am saying the NDC is serious about education. Education. Grenadian history is being taught or will be taught September in our schools. That's a big thing. That's a real big thing. We never had the vision to bring Grenadian history in our schools. In fact, in my belief and research, remove history from our schools. Removed it. The NDC also introduced or will be rolling out at the upper primary and secondary school level. So your daughter or your son who is not interested in biology, chemistry, physics, that kind of line of study, or geography, or can now pursue training to be a mason, to be a carpenter, to be an electrician, to be a plumber, to be a joiner, to be a seamstress, to be a tailor, to be an architect, right? Technical drawing and so on, to be a refrigeration repair specialist, to be an AC or air condition repair specialist, to be an auto mechanic, incorporating the technology because most of the vehicles, they come with a computer, they're computerized, and you need to be on top of things, right? So that is the direction. This is big. This is huge. This is significant. The free textbook program, that continues. More scholarships, we've seen it every day. Schools are being refurbished. Labs added. Home economics, home economic rooms and that kind of stuff. Woodwork and so that has been, they've been adding those things to the schools. Computer labs and so on. It is important. But I think the NDC needs to put their hands some more because people need to know the amount of things you're doing in education, also in health. They're doing a lot in health, and a lot in agriculture, and a lot in the creative sector. You need to talk some more about it. That's important. Folks, education is liberation. And any government who prioritize education, any government who prioritize healthcare and agriculture will forever be remembered, and also will see in the medium to long term development for the country that will come. So politically, it may not be a thing that one wants to, or a party wants to undertake, because it will take some time to start soaking in, right? And you may not get any political expediency from that. If you give somebody some money, or you give them some materials, or you give them a little road walk or something, then they may quicker vote for you. But when you talk about these ground chain initiatives and programs and so on, life-changing initiatives and programs, that will take some time for people to see the bigger picture. But NDC needs to talk some more about these things. You're doing a fantastic job you're doing a fantastic job in healthcare. You're doing a fantastic job in agriculture. You're doing a fantastic job sector. You're doing a fantastic job, generally speaking. And you need to take some more credit you're doing. You know, I was going through Facebook. And you know, for me, I am always at it. I am texting down. And while going through Facebook, I realized them in it, they commenting. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. On the bridge, right? Simon Bridge. Remember when big talk around the place? When the NNP was calling every morning bridge. Fix bridge. Mind you, the NNP was in power, did not fix it. They did not to fix the boat bridge. For 20-something years, Emily not living far from the boat bridge. Kate Lewis not living far from the boat bridge. Not only that, traverse that area quite frequently. Right? Two of them, they were measurement. What did they do when it comes to the boat bridge? Zero in my. They were calling for NDC to fix it. Okay. The Minister of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, the Honorable Andy Williams and Tessa Sincere, they visited. They saw the condition. They went there with the technicians on. The bridge was in a state, people can't pass, we can't pass there. Okay. Then contracted somebody to fix it. All right? To fix the bridge. Contracted someone to fix it. And you know what the NNP saying now? Well, that's the work of the government. That is what they say now, The NNP is not courageous enough to come out and say, well done. We were crying out, meaning the NNP, they were crying out for the bridge to be fixed because they failed to fix it. The NNP did not fix it. They realized NDC in power, and NDC's Mr. Fix It, Mr. Get It Done. So you cry, NDC fix it. But they are not coming forward and say, well, job well done, such we appreciate it. The NNP is now saying it is the job of the government. That is how ungrateful those NNP supporters are. And not just the ordinary supporters, they're talking about top, go all the way down. That is how ungrateful they are. And you see it every single day. You could give these people land. You could give them house. You could give them car. You could give them money. You could give them all kind of thing. They still will be ungrateful. NNP supporters are an ungrateful bunch of people. They're very ungrateful. And you see it every single day, even in their own little relationships. Those NNP supporters, somebody go pick them up, right, with no shoes on their feet, or maybe a hula hoop. They're going to bring them by the, person to scrub their heels and clean their toenails and shine them up, and then put them in high heels. They remove them from the skip heels. So they move them from hula hoop to high heels. Well done. Then move from that to any, and then they take that same high heel and they turn around, and that's how the NNP operate. Then they become big and large. It's that tough. You understand the point? Against that same person. Okay? They bring them to fix their teeth. All kind of thing. Okay, you know how they do normally pay. NNP supporters are. They are ungrateful. Majority of NNP supporters are ungrateful, unpatriotic. That organization unpatriotic in my belief. And it scares me because they want to come back into power. They want to control this piece of rock again. But look, we have Grenadians out there raising funds, mobilizing resources to develop this place to help people in different communities. Look at the folks in Georgia. Georgia, they're asking all Grenadians, Caracunians, and Pitti in Georgia, right, to please come out and support them on Sunday. That drive that they have. Come out and support them. It's a good drive. All right? Good drive. Go out there and support them. Sunday at Wade Walker Park, Pavilion number 1, 5584 Rock Bridge Road, Stone Mountain, Georgia, 30088. Remember that. So go there and support them. And they're saying, bring a dish. Bring a dish. And bring some school supplies. Bring some school supplies, different school supplies. Bring that so they can come to Grenada and help the kids right here in Grenada. So bring, the meat, stew chicken, stew pork, barbecue pork, curry beef, stew beef, curry mutton, right? Fried fish, whatever. Grenadian kind of style, pilau. You understand? Rice and peas and whatever. Bring those stuff. Salad, da. Bring it. And carry some school supplies so you could come to Grenada and benefit the kids here in Grenada. You understand the point? It's in Georgia. We have a lot of Grenadians in Georgia, living in Georgia. So again, just saying to you, it's on Sunday coming, starting at 3 p.m. Wade Walker Park, Pavilion number 1, 5584 Rock Bridge Road, Stone Mountain, Georgia, 30088. So go there and support them. Right? Very important. So when they come, do you know anyone who is helping kids at school? I know a few individuals who are really in need of assistance. Well, the government of Grenada is giving out vouchers and so on. Government of Grenada. They're giving out vouchers to assist kids to go back to school. But not for the parents who take their money and go on carnival and spend all their money on wine and juke. And then they broke like dog nose now. And they want to cry, go on the radio and say they go commit suicide and all kind of thing on you. Go and look at the videos, you see them whining and going down low. You understand? Yeah. So the schools know. The schools know who in need and the parents who are in need. So they get in the voucher and so on. So A lot of people coming by you on plane and they don't get this, they ain't get that. Well, they getting voucher. Find out first. You understand? They want to take the money and go and buy all kind of thing with it. They won't be able to do that. Because it's for specific things. All right? Good. So, Keisha, yes, the government is giving assistance. And other community groups are giving assistance. Some people they get from you, they get from you, they get from you, and they get from you, and they just more they want. Yes, some people they glut, they greedy, they covetous. You understand? So you have to still be very careful where that is concerned. But again, the government is doing so. And there are a lot of Grenadians, organized drives, and giving out stuff. So please, you will get stuff of those organizations. There are different MP Parliament who are also doing the same thing. All on the others up there in St. Patrick East, they did something in River Sally yesterday. Not River Sally, Rose Hill. I know a family, Roldan, Christabel and them, they did something in La Fortune. I know in St. John and different, they're doing stuff. They're doing stuff. So, children will get to go to school, and you have to, the parents find no money to pay them to school, so they should be able to go there. Things are easier now. But before time, they used to get little vouchers and so on, but they have to find the money to pay to go to school, to send the child to school, right? The tuition and so on. They had to pay that before the child goes to school. But now that's a thing of the past. The NDC removed that. All right? Very important. So again, look, the handout and the beggy mentality that out. People need to start doing stuff. I see guys who waiting on us $300 for relief, and the minute time they get the money, they go and buy rum and smoke cigarette and do all kind of stupidness with it. And people who are in need of it can't get it. And if you remove these people from the list, then the NNP coming out and ball, well, they remove that person, no, they remove that person. Yeah, because the NNP believes if they go and talk on their behalf, they're going to get their votes forever. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right? Nice. So again, I want to encourage you to support all the different initiatives and so on out there, to raise stuff for kids and to help the young people in Grenada. It's a good thing. I love that. Really appreciate that. And our Grenadian brothers and sisters, they're doing a lot. They're doing a lot for our people. They're doing a lot for our people. And I want to really, really, support that and encourage that. I really want to do that. Support it and encourage it. That's important. All right. So again, folks, support all. Georgia Sunday. And we have a lot of Grenadians in Georgia. Plenty Grenadians in Georgia who are doing a phenomenal job, a great job. And I want you to support it. Support all the events and activities. Nice. I want to say to you also, we need to remain focused because the NNP is only there to create confusion in the minds of our people. The NNP is not doing anything to help you and your family. They believe that they're out, they're no longer in government. So only when they're in government, they could do something. That's how they think. So they would use state resources as the NNP administration, state resources to help and do things. But when it comes to them creating or finding ways to raise money and raise stuff to benefit the community and help our people, they cannot. Not able to do so. But all they need to do is to make confusion, spread misinformation and disinformation, and make melee. But to help their people to find ways. What's about all the friends and all the colleagues that you had when you were in government? Why you can't reach out to them to get supplies and get things to help people in the country? Right? Use your good office to help our people. Right? There are kids and there are, young people in your area. Do that. But only alone the NNPD to me. Confusion. All their podcasts. Confusion Street. and to spread misinformation. Williams came out and he spoke about the thing to them NNP and quiet. You ain't hearing a word from them. You ain't realize that? You ain't hearing a word from them people. Andy Williams came out and he made it very clear that all this misinformation, all this gossip, all this stupidness is false. False like a doornail. And tutus, they get quiet. You hear anything, ma'am? You tell me. They're not even calling programs and talk about it anymore. Because Andy was able to shut them up. Andy Williams shut them up. Because what the enemy was planning and what the enemy thought would succeed with, they failed. So kudos to the Honorable Andy Williams. The man, keep doing what you're doing.
What the enemy meant for evil, God has turned it around. What the enemy meant for my down, God has turned it around for my good. What the enemy meant for evil, God has turned it around. What the enemy meant for my downfall, God has turned it around for my good.
So we see that clearly. You understand? They try to run misinformation. And that, in fact, you're not even hearing the pastor, the so-called pastor. You ain't hearing him again at all on that same matter. You understand? They pack him up and they pack them up. Folks, I want to wish you all the best. Take good care. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll be back with you Monday from 1 to 2. Sunday, God's willing. Take good care. Bye for now. We have to wrap it all up at this point. Remember, for the normal programming, so the Pan and Dr. Linton Andrews will come on as usual. All right? Take good care.